So I'm not necessarily talking about me.
He's
but
a licker.
But I believe he's a licker. I believe that he's... And funny how it always gets more powerful as the week goes on.
Would anybody like a drink? Because I think John James is going off on one, so you might be a while.
I'd love a little glass.
You know him as well as I do, Mark. It's probably a little bit better.
A little glass of milk for bed.
Can I have a glass of water, please?
Yeah, a little glass of water, please. Thanks. like you know him just as well as I do, probably a little bit better.
What do you want?
So what do you reckon?
I'm alright.
I don't take half of anything he says seriously.
Oh,
He's never said anything like that to me. But I truly believe, and I'm gonna fucking go out of here. He said something in the bathroom, right? You obviously heard.
Furious.
It didn't fuck me off as much because I know the sort of person that he is, and I know that he can be joking about this sort of shit. But he said it again today. He said that he won the eviction. You didn't win the eviction, you just survived the eviction.
Yeah.
More people wanted Jovan out than they wanted you out. So you didn't win, and Jovan didn't lose. That's just the way it panned out. So I don't believe it as a victory or anything like that. You're just lucky enough to survive, do you know what I mean? And he just kept saying stuff like that, and I'm like, why are you so worried about what they're fucking thinking out there? How can you be that worried about what's happening? How can you be yourself if you're so worried about what's happening out there? You can't be, because you're constantly thinking about the public. If you are constantly thinking about the public, then you can't be yourself, because you're worried about what the public are thinking. So in certain situations where you would normally say something, but you're avoiding saying that because you're worried about what they're going to say out there. Now, I don't mind. I understand that people avoid things in here because they just couldn't be fucked getting into drama in here. That's one thing. But I don't believe he cares so much about what's happening in here. He cares about what's happening out there. That I will get fucked off with. That does annoy me.
Of course, he's got his church to think about.
Ah, bollocks. No, bollocks. Sorry, that's bollocks.
Well, I hadn't actually thought about that point, but
Well,
I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to listen to it, Mara. Seriously.
That's all it was. That's all I had to say about that.
Do you think that's the reason? Like,
I don't know. I think he just.
But then he
says,
shouldn't have done it if it's.
If he's thinking about his church, he would be on his best fucking behaviour and being as Christian as he fucking possibly can, but he's not.
and if he is in here for that reason to talk about the Lord and embrace God or whatever, how many other ministers have you seen in here that use Big Brother as a way to get across that fact?
I don't know. I don't think there really has been any.
That's right. This is a strange way for purely that reason.
But Dave is a strange person.
Yeah, one that I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get on the full wagon of thinking that he's here playing a game or whatever. I'm just unsure at the moment, so I'm willing to listen to fucking what people got to say, because I believe at the moment that he is kissing people's asses that he shouldn't be. Me and you have been friends with him since the start. Yeah. So, like, I've sort of drifted a little bit further away from him recently, but when I hear him saying stuff like, he knows that Jose is clearly, like, a little bit not a fan, do you know what I mean? Like she's had her problems with him before or whatever, but he doesn't fire up. And I believe he doesn't fire up because he thinks that Jose is a favourite out there.
Yeah.
Also, with Steve as well. I think he takes advantage of that situation as well.
Star.
Oh, you mean you don't think he
right?
does all that to Josie because he knows she's popular?
And he said a comment. And he said a comment.
Yeah.
Walk it off. She leaves with dignity.
Steve-O was talking about walking, right? Like, because of the rations, right? He was only mucking around. But I saw fucking David's eyes light up like a fucking lantern. And they were like that. And he's like, oh, that's the only way that I would have a chance of winning this if you walked out, Steve-O. I think there's truth in that. I think he seriously is thinking about...
Winning.
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but don't come and tell me that you don't give a fuck.
I think it is a bad thing to be thinking.
I told Stephen he's not allowed to leave.
Then you've got to play a game during the short game.
You have to play a game now.
Exactly.
And you're a bit
Look, personally, I'm not one of them. I don't give a fuck about winning or not. I would like to be here to the end of the series.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to play a game in order to do that.
If people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't.
No, not at all. It was definitely not crossed mine because, yeah, well, it just hasn't.
I know, I wouldn't.
I didn't notice that because I was trying to tell Stephen that he's
I just want your honest opinion. And
I don't want anybody to walk out.
And I'd really like to let him know how, like, he knows to a certain extent how I feel about it, because every time he fucking brings up the public, I'm like, why the fuck do you keep talking about, like, why the fuck do you keep talking about the public? Who fucking cares about the fucking public? Like, do you know what I mean? Like you got to be yourself. If they hate you, they hate you. If they love you, they love you. If they don't give a fuck if you go out, they don't give a fuck if you go out. Like, just every time he brings up the public, I think, like, it just pisses me off a little bit, because I think, why are you so worried about it? It must be affecting the way you are behaving in the house if you're constantly thinking about the public. Am I nuts in thinking that?
I think there's a lot of truth in that.
And when he said that, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to switch your name up on the board." I'm like, don't fucking tell me, don't give me that "I love you" bullshit and all that shit anymore, because that won't be fucking. I'm not saying you can't be my mate anymore, because you have to do what you have to do. Like, obviously, like, you have to do what you have to do. You have to pick somebody, and I understand that, but don't go around fucking going over the top. I think he goes over the top. Like kisses and hugging and fucking telling people that he loves them and that, when really he doesn't.
Can I ask you a question, Martin?
Of course you can.
Is there anyone in here that really, really pisses you off? Or do you...
Pisses me off?
Yeah, or that you just don't...
Genuinely, pisses me off? Genuinely, no.
Or just that you don't... there's just there's nothing going on, like, it's just... Yeah.
What do you mean?
You stay out of each other's way, just because...
Me?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think it's because I have so many different social groups in the outside world.
You find it easy to get along with everyone.
Yeah, I sort of can juggle different personalities, and I'm pretty laid
I have
back.
a lot of different social groups on the outside, and there are still some people in here that make me want to fucking pull my own eyes out.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think I've probably had the most problems with people in here. Now Joban's left. Me and him were quite equal at that time, but I probably had the most problems with the most amount of people in here. And that's because I cannot stand fakery. I cannot stand lick asses.
I said in there that I think me and you are more alike than what
we originally might have considered.
I think me and you are a lot alike, and Josie just said the same as well. She goes, you two are a lot alike. And after what you said about the liquor, I had no idea that you felt that way. I thought I was the only one. I seriously thought I was the only one, because I talked to Josie and she's like, I don't care. And she doesn't care. She doesn't care. I don't care. But
I like Dave, but I don't know if everyone else does this, but I just take everything he says with a grain pinch of salt. You know, don't really, when it.
Yeah, don't.
And that's your prerogative to do so.
Anything
for sure.
he says into account at all. Don't listen to it. It's bullshit. Whatever he says.
What are you having? Biscuit.
Bullshit.
you believe he's a faker?
I believe everything he comes out of his mouth.
I believe
is bullshit.
wholeheartedly he's a faker.
I believe everything
And I have a
comes out of
million
his
reasons
mouth
to think
is
so.
bullshit.
Well, I didn't at the start, but I'm beginning to think. I'm beginning to think maybe he is.
What, the whole Christian...
No, I don't think
not that. Not that. I do
that.
honestly think he believes that.
Yeah, I do too.
Mm.
But I disagree with it. But I do think he believes it. No, I think his whole approach to this as a show leads him to be fake. He says a lot of things that make me feel really uncomfortable, to be honest.
But Harry, to say that gay marriages are immoral right in front of you and then have to come in to apologise, obviously you knew you'd been out all that.
Yeah. I accepted his apology and we sort of left.
Yeah, but did you not feel totally fucking like, what?
I know, but
I was furious.
if you
about
feel
that.
that gay marriages are immoral, why are you saying sorry about it?
Yeah. It did get me down a little bit, because I think,
And then he just said before on the couch would also fuck me off, which is why I had to walk away. He said, I think it was yesterday, or I can't even remember. It's like Groundhog Day in here, but he said to you.
It is Groundhog Day in here.
He said to he said if he was that way inclined that he would like to be with you when you were rolling around on the couch. Do you remember that? And straight away I thought.
Oh, was that when he had me in his death grip and I couldn't escape?
And that's when I was like.
Did he actually say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like,
What
but
did he
you
say?
disagree. You disagree with that point of view. But yet he's gone and said
married.
something like that. And I think, is he
I don't
doing
think
that?
I don't think he's homophobic.
To fuck with your head. Is he only if his views are that in way inclined, why is he so?
I just find it really
I'm not
weird.
sure.
Well, if it's meant to fuck with my head, it hasn't done anything.
No. And I couldn't. I wasn't happy about that.
And if
I didn't say anything because you didn't. So I thought if you said something, I would have backed you up. But
Well,
because
that comment would have been to roll
But
on
did
the
you
trip
pick
up,
up on
not
that?
me. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course you can.
Do you think, Dave's obviously one of your best mates in the house, right? Do you think, and this isn't necessarily a bad thing either way, do you think Dave would put your friendship before the long game of this show?
Yes, 100%.
What, put their friendship before the game?
No, the game's number one for him.
Yeah.
100%.
Like, I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but it seems that way to me. And if it is that way, and I'm right on that, and it's all about the game, then I don't see how you could ever form
a proper
real
friendship.
friendships
Yes,
in here.
100%.
Because you'd
100%
fuck
agree with
them
that.
over if you had to.
Exactly. And that is why I'm going off about that, because the game is more important to him. Like, I've got my views and I've got my reasons for him, but I think he wouldn't put me up because that's the way he felt about me.